Hey guys, Keto Coach Neil here, and I want to talk to you just for a few minutes about habit versus hunger. Do you turn towards food out of habit, maybe because your watch tells you it's time to eat, or the family's getting together at 6 o'clock for dinner, or maybe you gravitate towards food because of certain emotional responses or stressors, and food is just your go-to? Or do you turn to food when you are truly hungry, and what does that actually mean? Dr. Jason Fung, in his book, The Complete Guide to Fasting, he talks about what true hunger is. And he says it comes down to the fact that hunger is not determined by not eating for a certain period of time. Rather, it is a hormonal signal. It doesn't come about simply because the stomach is empty. When you avoid the natural stimuli to hunger, such as the sight and smell of food, as well as the conditioned stimuli to hunger, specific meal times, movies, ball games, any event where you normally eat and have learned to expect food. He also goes on to say that you can kind of hack your way around that. If you're doing any sort of block fasting, intermittent fasting, you're probably familiar that the hunger comes in waves. It'll peak and it'll crest out. It'll peak and come down. And there was a researcher back in 1968, Dr. Ian Gilliland, and he had some fasting subjects, and he said about his experiences with his fasting patients that a feeling of well-being is certainly engendered and may amount to euphoria. We did not encounter complaints of hunger after the first day. So what does that mean? You can learn to ride the wave, and then the hunger just slowly over time dissipates. That's how people can go for days, even weeks, on extended fasts and not be overwhelmed, overcome by hunger. So that's what true hunger is, and you can actually learn to quiet the noise down and listen to those natural hunger hormonal signals of hunger. But we also, since we were infants, have been trained, we've had these learned behaviors of, if I act this way, I get food. And then you learn as you get a little bit older, well, dinner time is this time, and lunch time is at noon, and breakfast, that's at 8 o'clock. And you learn these specific behaviors. Social situations are the same thing. Hey, if you're going over to so-and-so's house, we're going to have a meal. So the other thing with that is emotional responses to emotional triggers, to stressors, to situations that just cause stress. That's why they call it comfort food. People turn to that because they've been learned how to do that. I was doing some research on another health coach named Ida Kazurdian, pardon me, and she's got a background in psychology as well as a health coach, and she talks about developing an emotional response menu. And these are things because of satiety. The root word of that is sate, which means full, to be full, and that can manifest itself in a number of ways. Emptiness is the absence of being full. And that can also be manifested as hunger, meaning that you have an emotional stressor and that will present as hunger. That's why we have, again, comfort foods. So she encourages folks to develop that emotional response menu. These are non-food items that you can redirect your attention to, where you used to go to food. You used to hit the ice cream when you got stressed out. Well, now you can go for a walk. You can read a book. You can learn a language. You can play an instrument. You can do all sorts of other things other than food. So I will echo that, and I'll say start to develop your own emotional response menu of things where you can turn to those. And those are actually going to do two things: redirect your emotional attention and your mindfulness, but they're also going to, by doing that, you're avoiding hunger, you're avoiding an insulin spike, you're letting your natural hormonal responses work to hunger, and you're not going to be feeding the beast. So just a few words about hunger, true hunger versus habits, and how to overcome that with your own emotional response menu. Hope this helps. We'll talk to you soon.